Hello, my dear children. How are you all? I hope things are going good for you. Today we are going to read English Literature Chapter 10 I Miss My Home. Dear children, this lesson is basically related to a woman who is living in a house and her name is Devi. She is living in a village, but her son has taken her to the city, but she did not like the house in the city. Dear children, let us begin the reading and the explanation of Chapter 10 I Miss My Home. Devi has lived all her life in a small village. She is a very contented person. She has a nice house with two rooms. There is a granary and a storeroom where she stores grains, vegetables, and fruits. There is a cowshed and a small garden too. She grows her own vegetables. She draws water from the well in her courtyard. She cooks simple food with it and often shares it with her neighbors. In daytime, she and her friends gather under a tree and chat. They help one another with their work in hand. Life is blissful. Blissful means very happy. Contented means happy. Greenery means a room where grain is stored. So, dear children, this lesson is basically related to a woman who is living in a small house, and her house is in a village, and she is very much happy whatever she is having, and she is also having a nice house with a storeroom, and she stores grains, vegetables, and fruits at there. She is also having a cow shed and a small garden. She grows her own vegetables. She draws water from the well, which is in her courtyard. She cooks very simple food and often share with her neighbors. In daytime, she and her friends sit together under a tree and they chat and they help one and each in their work. And her life is very happy at there. Devi's only son works in a big city. Last week, he visited her after 2 years. The whole neighborhood came to meet him. He wanted to take her with him because she was getting old. He said, Amma, you look frail and weak. Frail means very weak and thin. And you are not safe here now because you live alone. Son, don't worry about me. I have my neighbors and friends. They take good care of me. She told him, but her son did not listen to her. So she agreed to go with him, but only for a few days. Dear children, in this para, Devi's only son works in a big city and he visited her after 2 years. The whole neighborhood and her friend came to meet him. Her son wanted to take her with him, but she is not ready to go. Her son told her that she is getting old and weak and it is not safe for her to live alone at there, but she is not ready to go with him. But after all, she is getting ready. First, both traveled in a bus. It was so crowded that Devi felt uneasy. After traveling for 3 hours, they reached the railway station. The train was about to leave. They walked fast and got into it. When the train started, some passengers unpacked their food and started eating. Her son whispered, Amma, if someone offers you food, don't take it. It may harm you. It was strange. Devi always liked to share her food with others, but she did not ask him any question. Now, dear children, they were traveling in a bus and it was so crowded that Devi was not feeling easier there. They traveled in a bus for 3 hours. They reached the railway station. The train was about to leave. They walked fast and got into it. After that, some passenger unpacked their food and they started eating. But her son told her that don't take food from them. It may harm you. And Devi was very much in a shock. After many hours, they reached Mumbai. The platform was so crowded that Devi could hardly walk. She longed for fresh air. Long means strongly wished. Outside the station, she saw many beggars. I thought people were rich in city, murmured Devi. Her son hailed a taxi. Hailed means made signs to make the taxi stop. After some haggling means arguing to settle the fare. The driver started the vehicle. The roads were full of vehicles. It seemed as if everyone was on the roads. The taxi stopped at traffic lights. Devi learned the name later. Everyone now and then. There were fumes and the smell of the diesel. Devi started coughing. The roads were lined up with matchbox like houses and were very dirty. There were garbage dumps everywhere. Dumps means place where garbage is put. Now, dear children, Devi was with her son and they reached Mumbai, and the platform was very much crowded and she was not feeling happy at there, and she could hardly walk at there. She was feeling the dirty air and there was no fresh air at there, and she saw many beggars are there and she was thinking that every people were rich in city. Her son asked for the taxi and they started the traveling by the taxi. The road was full of vehicles and it was looking that everyone was on the road. There were smell of diesels and she started coughing. Dear children, when Devi and her son reached in Mumbai, she saw that the houses were like the matchbox and it was lined up. And she also started coughing at there because of the dirty air at there. Let us begin now. After almost 1 hour, the taxi stopped near a tall building. Devi looked at the building with awe. Does my son live in a palace like house? She wondered. Her son told her that their house was on the fifth floor. Unluckily, the lift was not working because there was no power. Amma, we will take the stairs, he told her. Then he picked up the luggage and they started climbing the stairs. Devi had to rest after climbing a few steps. She was breathless by the time she reached the flat. And there was a big lock. Amma, your daughter in law has gone to work. She will be back by 7 o'clock. And children are in school. Never mind, I have the spare key, he said. Spare means extra key. So, dear children, in this para, when Devi reached her son's house, it was a tall building, and she was wondered that it is like the palace, and she is thinking that her son is living in a palace. But when they reached, he told her that their house was on the fifth floor. Unluckily, the lift was not working at there because of the no power supply. Amma, we shall take the stair, he told her. Then he picked up the luggage and started climbing the stair. But she was not feeling well at there and she was breathless by the time she reached the flat, and she saw a big lock at there, and her son told her that your daughter-in-law has gone to the work and children are also not at home, they have gone to the school. So he said that he is having a spare key to open the door. Dear children, let us begin the concluding part of the lesson. The house had only two very small rooms and the kitchen. They were spick and span. Her son pointed to the bed and said, Amma, rest for a while. You can have a bath in the evening when water comes. I shall go and buy something to eat. Please lock the door and don't open it unless you hear my voice. There are robbers around, and he left with a shopping bag in his hand. Devi sat quietly near the window. She looked down. There were children in rags sifting. Sifting means separating things. The huge garbage bins near the traffic lights. She had already started missing her home and her friends. So, in this para, dear children, uh, when they reached the house, the house was having only two rooms with a kitchen, and her son pointed to the bed and said that Amma, take rest for a while, and when water will come, then you can take the bath at there. And they were not having anything to eat at there, and he has gone to buy something to eat. And then he told her that to lock the door and don't open the door. Okay, he said that there are robbers around. Then he left with a shopping bag in his hand. Now Devi was sitting near the window and she was looking outside, and she was missing her house and her friends a lot at there. Dear children, at the last I will just say that do more practice of reading and writing, improve your reading and underline the difficult word whatever you face to pronounce. Do your best, give your best, all the best to all of you. Thank you. Thank you watching for this video.